Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and you guys know what time it is. It's time for another channel update. And this is one of these things I need to cover because I get a lot of people who don't watch the vlogs, or they'll see one or two vlogs and they don't realize I've been training 7 days a week, and probably any questions they have about my training are covered in the vlogs multiple times. But sometimes it's better to break some stuff down here. Just a reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please click like down below. There's definitely still the dislike bots running. If you guys would offset that, it would be greatly appreciated. But over to the point. Multiple reasons I'm going back to training 4 days a week. I'm going to keep the same basic training system I have developed and have been using, my own variation of conjugate. And I'm going to continue to do it with only 4 days a week instead of 7. And I'm going to return back to an upper-lower split. Now, there's a number of reasons for doing this. Some of it has to do with my client business. Some of it has to do with my recovery, but it is largely my own recovery. Now, for those of you who've watched these, people have noticed that 2 months in, 3 months into doing this, even with deloads, I was hitting PR, 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 PR. I mean, we watched me hit a 605 deadlift, take a deload like 6 days after my deload comeback and pull a 615 deadlift. We've seen me hit a 552 squat. It's been a lot of PRing about that 3 month mark. After that, though, things started getting harder. And what I'm finding is that even when building a perfect lifestyle for it, this is just simply too much training to recover from. Now, a lot of people say, oh, are you going to replace your off days with a bunch of conditioning? No, probably not. Probably not. I'm just going to eat less on those days. In other words, my non-training days, I don't need to be eating, 4,500 calories. I can just do restoration workouts. But a lot of this comes down to also making sure that people understand that I am then practicing what I preach. Because I tell you guys out there, you should be able to do 4 main workouts every week, and you should be able to get your lifting numbers to advanced numbers, if not elite numbers, doing that. You should be able to maximize your muscle growth. All right, this is the problem with some of my clients. I have clients who don't want to be compliant because they see me do this because they watch the vlogs. And think about that for a moment. Sorry, my nose is just... Okay. They see my vlogs and they say, well, why can't I train and work extra sessions in? And it's like, because you don't have a perfect lifestyle, guys. You don't have a perfect lifestyle. You guys have stress. You have normal jobs. Okay, and some of these people do have stressful lives. And then they want to do something like that. And I'm like, it's not going to work. You have outside stress outside of your training. This is not workable. You can't train 5 or 6 days a week. Stop. And they don't want to listen because they're like, well, if you can do it. So it sets a bad example. And I think that sets a horrifically bad example because it makes my clients think that they can do something like that and then break the instructions I give them. Right? That's not good because they're going to fail. So again, it's not good for that. And realistically, the time that it takes, in addition to the recovery issues of not even being able to maintain it anymore, I have to look at it from a time economy perspective. I'm doing this trying to chase a 0.5% advantage. But what happened? Did I get my squat past 500 doing 4 days a week? Yeah. Was my deadlift pushing 600 already doing 4 days a week? Yeah, it was. I mean, I pulled a 600 off of a block pull all 4 days a week, right? What this has done, though, is that it's taught me my limits of my recovery. It's taught me to push the bleeding edge to find the sort of volumes I can handle. So what I'll do now, I'll work everything into 4 days a week, an upper lower 4 day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday again. Gives me the weekends and gives me Wednesday to work on other stuff. I don't have to worry about training. The other thing is that when you look at productive time, that's a whole morning. Like I'm training through the morning and messing with stuff. I don't have time to always do other things, schedule clients, work on different projects during that whole morning because I need to be focused on training. Sometimes recovery between individual parts of it, I might need to lay down and massage stuff out just because of the training volumes. I might have to lay down for 15 minutes and use a massager on different muscles before the next exercise sometimes. All right, because of the recovery aspects of training 7 days a week. My whole morning gets thrown into that for 3 extra mornings. I have to have an extra hour of sleep every night. When you start adding this up, we're talking about essentially something like 12 to 15 hours of productive time lost per week chasing something that may not be giving me that edge anymore, because now, again, I am struggling with recovery. Okay, that's time I could spend growing my other businesses. Because people will make the joke and say, well, Jason, you don't have any job. Technically, I do, guys. 3 YouTube videos a day, it's a part-time job. Coaching clients, that's a job. And I have to look at that and say, could that extra 15 hours every week, half of it be allocated towards coaching? Could I take on more clients? As I said before, my cap would be like 20 clients. But that's assuming I'm training 7 days a week. I do 24, 25 after that. But the client coaching is a big deal. You know, by that same token, it also means that clients know not to try to schedule stuff on days I'm going to train. And I can have 3 full days to where my day is relatively free to work with clients, to get in Skype, do stuff. And I can do them in the mornings. And I'm not worried about being beat up and tired in recovery. 1 less hour of sleep needed per night. It gives me better windows to do my other business, my coaching, everything else. Because I really do have a job with that. People can view it however they want. Say, that's not, well, it is a job. I pay taxes on it. The income is there. So, you know, that's something I need to look at also, of the loss of productive time. That is the downside to trying to train like that. The additional time investment of those extra 3 days, because it's not just the training time. It's just keeping yourself paced during the workout. It's sometimes having to take the breaks in the workout and massage yourself, soft tissue work, catch a breather. That starts dragging into a lot of time on 3 extra days. All the extra soft tissue stuff you have to do. The extra hour of sleep. Okay? The extra food even on those off days, the extra cooking time, prep time. This starts to turn into hours and hours and hours. It's not just an extra 3 hours a your week. So that's the things that have to be factored in also. Then it comes over to the point of, if you can't recover from it anyways, and I was for a while. I mean, when I was hitting the 550 squat and a 615 deadlift, clearly the recovery was still manageable. But it's not beyond a threshold. It's just not sustainable long term. It was a great experiment. I learned a lot from it, but it helped me build the structure of the system I want to use moving forward. Just scaling it back from 7 to 4 days, right? Something that a lot of people have asked about. Hey, could I set something up like that? Sure, you could. And now I'm going to do it. And it's just going to be the example in the real world. Be an example in the real world. But again, we do run into the issue of it setting a bad example. Even though it was fun, even though I was making progress, I don't think a lot of people understood what that entails in terms of a time commitment and a recovery commitment. It's just too much. And again, too many people were then coming up, including clients, a couple of my clients. Well, I want to lift more than 4 days a week. Like, if you aren't blasting 2 grams of testosterone a week, and you want to have a normal job and a normal career, and you want to train 6 or 7 days a week, I'm sorry, that's a really bad idea. It's a bad idea. But again, you see clients who are like, well, I see you doing it. Why can't I? It's like, well, because you're not me and you have stress in your life. I know because I hear about it. So that's part of the issue. But really, it reached a point, though, for me, to where it's a recovery problem. It's a time management problem at a certain threshold. But I think it goes to show you what goes into a system of training like that. And I feel like now I'll be able to continue to progress, use that. I'm going to do restoration type workouts on off days. No, I'm not going to go do a bunch of conditioning again and tons of Metcon. I don't think it's necessary. Will I maybe do some? Yeah, I might here and there. I'll probably do some of my farmer's walks and stuff, because those could help with my grip and everything. Because I want to keep my grip specialization high. I need to be doing reverse hypers every day. I might do triceps, abs, maybe rear delts every single day. Do band press downs, right? Get my triceps bigger to help with my benching. Stuff like that. But real training, where we get under a barbell, no. It's going to be 4 days for that. 4 days. And that's enough. Again, I got my squat past 500 doing that. We had the deadlift bumping on 600. And it'll work fine. And again, it'll let me put that same time and energy back into growing my second business, which really is a bigger time commitment than YouTube at this point, realistically is. So yeah, that's a good thing for people who want to get on for coaching later also, because I'm having more and more inquiries. Obviously, most of those inquiries don't turn into clients, but they definitely are starting to. It's starting to scale up. Especially when I have people who want to start next month and I'm sitting on 16 clients now. I need to make sure the space and the time is free to do that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.